Iran realizes that the only pressure that can be put on Israel not to attack again is through the United States. However, as I said, it doesn't seem clear that the United States is willing to focus and put the resources on the goal of achieving a nuclear agreement with Iran. So we're at a standstill. And don't forget, Dan, we still have the issue of the snapback of the United Nations Security Council resolution in mid-October. And the E3 has said that unless there's an agreement reached between Iran and the United States by, at the latest, the end of August, they will move to snap back the UN sanctions that were suspended as part of the JCPOA. So Iran is in a very tough situation. I think they're very eager to resume negotiations with the U.S., but I don't think they see a clear way forward.
Alan, expand on that for me. You mentioned the snapback mechanism. Can you actually explain how that works and what specifically is at stake if a deal isn't done by August?
Well, the part of the JCPOA that was ratified and certified and implemented by the United Nations was United Nations Security Council Resolution 2231, which is part of the deal, suspended the UN sanctions on Iran. Now, if nothing happens, those sanctions go away forever in mid-October. And Iran, from the point of view of the United Nations, is a normal country under the NPT in terms of having no sanctions on it under the Non-Proliferation Treaty. So the E3, who want to exercise leverage on Iran to reach a deal with the United States, have said, we will invoke snapback, which means, obviously, bringing back the sanctions that were suspended as part of the JCPOA if Iran does not reach a deal, as they said recently, by the end of August. So the E3, any member of the E3, France, UK, Germany, can, of its own volition, initiate a mechanism in the United Nations that brings back those suspended sanctions. The U.S. can't. It tried to under the first Trump administration, but because it had pulled out of the JCPOA, it could not snap back. But the E3 can, and have said they will, unless Iran finds a verifiable, approvable deal with the United States.
So what happens at that point? How do you expect the Iranians to respond to any potential reimposition of those U.S. sanctions?
Not well. I mean, Foreign Minister Araghchi has already said that if the E3 moves to initiate snapback, they will no longer be a part of nuclear diplomacy with Iran. This is all part of a very worrisome dynamic, where as a result of a series of events, the most recent of which was the 12-day war, Iran is cooperating less and less with the International Atomic Energy Agency under the Non-Proliferation Treaty, which means we have less and less visibility in Iran's nuclear program. So that cycle of things getting worse and worse would continue were the E3 to snap back sanctions on Iran. Now, some people say they're just doing this to put additional leverage on Iran to negotiate with the U.S. That could well be the case.